high school. Yellow and had a laundry front door.
All right, let's talk. Let's start here. Okay, clearly define purpose for movie night and tacos.
All right, for the movie taco night thing, is our purpose and our outcome. Number one is like to grow and bond as a youth group and grow together, and also like we use an example of like War Room as the movie. We can use War Room to grow in our own prayer life and use that to talk about like, hey, how can we grow in our prayer life in our daily lives? And for the obstacle course, I'll let my man right here.
You're just the middle one, the middle.
Yeah, the purpose, I can, to teach the youth to work together and teach them to be there for one another. The outcome, though, is for the youth to also, learn to be there for one another, but also learn to just be led by Christ. And to get there and trust that God will put the help you need in times of obstacles and stuff like that.
That's good. All right, what you got?
The purpose is to show the community that being a Christian can be fun, and the vision is hopefully to see the community grow closer, but also the communities, the people who aren't in the community start getting involved in churches.
Okay, so it's totally outreach. Okay, good. What you got? Outcome, purpose.
We said that our purpose was to create a stronger bond among the students, and then the outcome is to create a more comfortable group. So it's like the same thing, but we would have like a lesson and tie that into like what we want our outcome to be if we didn't get that far.
Okay, so you're still developing. All right, so we define a purpose and outcome for every event, even the ones that are simple. Like the movie night and food are they're very easy to do, but there has to be communicated purpose in it. All right, because anybody can show a movie, but what are you going to communicate after the movie? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to launch a new study on prayer? Are you going to teach them to get into prayer groups? Or there's things that you can do way after the fact. Okay, some more things. Schedule early to avoid conflict. This is the ABCs right here. You got to ask. Okay, if you've got an idea on campus at a church, you're going to have to check alongside with your church calendar. Okay, so ask. All right, is there anything else that's going on that's going to prohibit us from doing this event? Same thing if you're taking students away from the church to do a carnival. Are you going to be outside?
Yeah.
Okay, outside carnival. Do you know the rules of the land where you are? What you can do outside? What course? Okay. So ask. Okay. When you're using another facility. Okay. So maybe you want to take them to an actual ropes course, which would be great. So you don't have to do so much work. Unless you want to build your own, that's fine. You can. You still there's greater benefit to travel. Okay. But you got to ask. Make sure that you can take your students to that. Okay, insurance liabilities. But at the same time, make sure the place is available. After you ask, you need to go ahead and book it. Don't let anybody else get in the way of your event when it comes to that. Once you've got the open dates, the time, let's be aggressive. This is when we're going to do it. Stick to that date. And then calendar. Ask, book, calendar. Make it happen. Okay? There's some other things that we go. Cover the details in order to accomplish your purpose. Now, if we had more time, this would be what you would do. You've got your outcome, you got your purpose, but there's going to be the details that make the event happen. So what I would prefer you do is to build a timeline, okay, of that event. So if your movie night is from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, it's time to specifically plan out everything that happens from 6 to 9. Okay, for this lock-in, Lord help you, but lock-ins are so challenging. You've got about a 10-hour window, maybe longer, depending on when you get rid of the students. Maybe 12, maybe 14 hours. All right, that's a load of time to do with a group of students. Do you have enough material to cover that 14-hour block? Or is there gonna be scheduled free time? You get what I'm saying? You're gonna have to be so wise in how you plan out your life.
In everything you do, you always think 3 steps ahead.
3 steps ahead. That's good. That's good. Okay? So, timeline. Same thing with this event. What's happening throughout you're going to have a lot of different stations if it's a carnival. So there's so many details you got to plan. Who's going to man these stations? Is there going to be shifts? What supplies are we going to need? I mean, everything's talked about as you cover the details in order to accomplish your purpose. And then last thing is focus on why you're doing what you're doing. You must keep that purpose intact. If you want to see that outcome, I know that the Lord brings the fruit. Okay, it's the Lord who brings things to harvest. You know that. It's totally up to Him when it comes to the outcome of the event. But we had better be doing everything that we can, okay, to see that purpose fulfilled. All right? But it's going to come through great planning, purposefully. It's going to come through working on as a team, as you were doing. All right? And it's going to come through following the leadership and guidance of the Lord. All right? I cringe when I think about the Zwakians. I do, because it's a big undertaking. All right? But everybody wants to do them. I mean, if you haven't been a youth man yet, if you haven't done Zwakia, you got to do it. You got to try it. The ropes course, there's a lot of biblical content that could go with that event. It could be a very effective event. Same thing with your movie night. People will come watch a free movie. I mean, they will come. And you're going to have a great crowd, a great opportunity for fellowship and for design, purpose, and worship. I mean, carnivals are super good for communities and outreach. If you're looking for contacts and you're looking for a way to minister and meet the needs of the community and know the needs, do a carnival. Yeah, they work so well. That's why trunk or treats are so great. People come. That's why when you do the fall carnivals, things like that. Fruitland Baptist does a block blasted thing every year. Yeah. It's a big deal. It is a big, and it's so good. It's so good. So we're on to something here. This is good. All right. I've given you prep for next week's class, or it'll be week 8. Okay, when we come together, you've got your 4th quiz coming up. That one's half and half. So I want you to, on your reflective questions, which put a lot of time into your responses, but your questions will be from the reading that's covered this week and for next week. Okay, so I'm going to ask questions for multiple weeks to learn. We're almost done for the home stretch, okay? Hey, when you come back, those book reviews are due, all right?